Today we're talking about why you should be shooting suppressed, and I'm also going to give you guys some information on how to do it in the easiest way possible. What's going on, everyone? My name is Talon Sai and you are watching Sunday GUNDAY. I hope you're all having a great Sunday so far, and also Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Today we're going to be answering the question, why should you shoot suppressed? If you're asking yourself that question, then I'm going to assume that you don't have much experience with silencers or suppressors, and that is completely fine. Once you have shot something like this on any different platform really, when you shoot a suppressed firearm, chances are you really don't want to go back. If you already know why you should be shooting suppressed, then the next question might be, how can I do it? How can I get a silencer for myself, and what is the easiest way to do it? We're going to be answering all of those questions in today's video, but first, a little bit of a history lesson. Now, a lot of times there's like two sides to this whole story. You have the keyboard warrior hardos, and then on the other side of the spectrum you have sort of like the history nerds who know everything about everything.
Bro, this is a suppressor, not a silencer. It doesn't silence the gun, it just suppresses the noise, the fire, and the gases that are coming out of it.
Well, in 1902, Mr. Maxim actually created these things for commercial use. Then a little bit later in 1909, he patented this technology, coining for the first time the term silencer. So silencer, suppressor, the terms are truly interchangeable. You can say it however you want. I don't discriminate, and I'm going to be using the terms interchangeably all throughout this video. Now, owning a can, a silencer, or suppressor is legal in 42 states across America. So there's a really good chance that if you live in an area where you can own firearms like this, then chances are you can also own a silencer just as easily. So what are some of the benefits of throwing a can onto a pistol, a handgun, a rifle? What is the actual point of it? The first and easiest one to recognize is that when you put a can on any different firearm, it's going to cut back on the noise pollution, it's going to protect your ears, and overall it's just a better shooting experience. Now, cans come in all different shapes and sizes. There's a bunch of different technology that goes into different manufacturers' products, but overall, as sort of a blanket term, we can just say that a can on most platforms will reduce the noise level about 35 decibels. Again, this is very dependent on the caliber, the type of platform, what type of can you are throwing on there, but we're just going to use 35 decibel reduction as sort of a baseline. That is almost on par with the protection that you get from over-the-ear muffs and Ear Pro. If you're getting good quality Ear Pro, then chances are it's going to reduce that noise almost as much as running a can on your gun will. Now, I'm not saying go out there, buy a silencer, and go shoot without ears. I typically wear Ear Pro in all scenarios. There are a few occasions where I like to shoot without Ear Pro just to see what the tone of the can sounds like. But what it really comes down to is that throwing a can on there is almost like extra protection for your ears, and also it just makes it a lot more pleasant for everyone around you. If you're at an indoor shooting range, outdoor shooting range, you have people all around you. If you have a gnarly muzzle device on there that's throwing gases and flames everywhere, it's not super pleasant to be shooting, and it's also really not pleasant to be standing next to a gun like that. And then if you think out a little bit further, if you're shooting on your own property and you have neighbors that border up to you, if you're out in your backyard just mag dumping some 308 AR that you just built, it's not super neighborly. Granted, I wouldn't mind if my neighbors were out shooting guns all day because I dig it, I'm into that. But running a silencer on all of your different platforms, it's just a really nice experience for pretty much everyone. Now, another benefit of running a can on your preferred platform of choice is that you can also reduce recoil and improve accuracy. I also posted a quick little recap of this video on an Instagram reel, so go check that out over on my Instagram when you get a chance. In that quick blurb over there, I mentioned that it can also improve accuracy, and I'm sure that raises some questions. How can throwing a can on the end of a gun improve your accuracy? So first up, the recoil. Let's actually pop this can off of here. When you're shooting with a muzzle device that looks something like this, you have ports all around the break. It's shooting gas upwards, out the sides, and I actually prefer this break. It's really nice. But when you think about it from the perspective of a new shooter, those gases are going everywhere. It's going to make the gun recoil in a different way, as opposed to throwing a can on there. Now all the gases are being trapped in here. It's cutting down on the noise. There's not going to be a big fireball. And in most cases, it's going to take a little bit of the bite out of that recoil. Now when it comes to accuracy, how can a can actually improve your accuracy? Again, put yourself in the shoes of a brand new shooter. Oftentimes, especially guns like this right here, this could be pretty intimidating for a brand new shooter. They're not used to weapon manipulation, just holding something like this might even freak them out a little bit. And then when it comes to actually shooting, you got fireballs coming out of here. It's super loud, the gases are coming back and hitting you in the face, and if you've never been around something like this before, it could be fairly unpleasant. Now on the other hand, when you throw a suppressor on here, that's going to make a first-time shooter's experience with pretty much any platform a lot more enjoyable. Again, you don't have the loud noises, the fireballs, all of the gases, because it's all sort of contained in here, so it's going to be a lot more approachable than a gun that is not suppressed. So now if someone is less intimidated by the platform that they're shooting, they can focus more on the fundamentals, having a proper grip, getting a proper sight picture, and also proper trigger control. If they're not going to be intimidated by the loud sound, flash, and gases and everything coming back at them, they can take more time and more mental capacity to really think about how they're pulling that trigger. Nice smooth take up to the wall, boom, break. The boom is a little boom because of this. So chances are they're going to be shooting more accurately with a gun like this that they are more comfortable with. Now I'm not a new shooter by any means, but I find that oftentimes if I'm shooting suppressed, I just enjoy it a lot more, and in some cases I can be more accurate because I'm not anticipating that shot. I'm not worried about 350 Magnum ported and blowing stuff up in my face. It's just a lot more enjoyable to shoot something with a can on there. And now one more quick reason as to why you should be shooting with a can. Maybe you are big into hunting. I mentioned that silencers are legal in 42 states across America, and in 40 of those states they are actually legal to hunt with. Now why would you want to hunt with a suppressor? Basically all the same reasons that we already mentioned, but also oftentimes when people are out in the woods hunting, they're not wearing ear pro. They need to hear their surroundings. They need to hear whitetail or elk or whatever it may be in their surroundings. So oftentimes when people are taking shots with guns, maybe not like this might be a little bit extreme for hunting, but oftentimes hunters are shooting without ear protection. So throw a can on there, and again, it might not be completely hearing safe depending on which can and caliber and platform you're shooting from, but it is really going to take that bite off. It can definitely help save your ears, and in the long run, it is just a lot more enjoyable to shoot with something like this. So now you know a little bit more about why I think it's a good idea to be shooting suppressed, but the next step is, how do you do it? Now, I've owned suppressors for quite a while now, back before there was any good support for actually doing it in a non-manual way. Previously, I would have to go to a sheriff's department, fill out a Form 4, get fingerprints done at the sheriff's department, go to local pharmacy like Walgreens or CVS, get a photo taken, put all of the forms together, and this is all after purchasing a suppressor. Get those forms ready, attach a check for $200 for the tax stamp, and then send it out to the ATF. Wait forever. And then finally one day your shop will call you, hey, tax stamp came in, boom, you got a can. Now that entire process has been streamlined by the people at Silencer Shop, and they make getting a can very easy now. The best way to do this is go to silencershop.com and find a powered by dealer. Once you find a dealer that's close to you, check if they have a Silencer Shop kiosk. I looked up mine locally, I paid them a visit, and I went to check it out for myself. Now the entire process is really cool. If you download the Silencer Shop app onto your phone, you can fill out all of your information there. You can even take a selfie with your cell phone camera as long as you have a proper background, and it will upload those photos to your account, which will then be submitted with your paperwork. Once you get your account set up in the app, you go and visit a kiosk, and once you get there, you simply scan a code, fill out some more information, and then do your fingerprints right there at the kiosk. I personally went to Triple J Armory, really good shop if you are in the Denver area. I'd definitely recommend checking them out. They have staff there that can sort of walk you through the process if you have never done it before, and you could be in the shop and out in about 10 minutes. You log into your account on the kiosk, all of your information is already there, scan your fingerprints, and boom, off it goes. Now, once you have that account set up, say this was my first can, but I want something different. It's time for a handgun, an integrally suppressed handgun. This whole thing right here is a suppressor, if you guys never saw this before. Instead of going into the app, back to a kiosk and doing that stuff all over again, all that information is saved, so once you actually purchase a new suppressor, then all that information is already stored and can be sent out with the new serial number and everything else that goes along with the silencer that you're picking up, and it makes the process even faster than it was before. Now, I would love to stand here and talk about silencers all day. We already have the why you're shooting suppressed. We have the how to get a suppressor and shoot suppressed. And the next step in this equation would be, what can should I pick? There's a million different options out there, and I think I'm going to save that for a part 2 to this video. So if you guys are interested in hearing my buying experience from a bunch of different cans, some of which you saw here in today's video, then make sure you consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week. If you have any questions on this whole process, let me know in the comments down below, and I will try to answer as many as I can. So that is all that I had for today's video. If you're new here, consider clicking subscribe. There should be more coming at the start of this new year. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.